They changed the game. They changed the game. Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, they both changed the game. It was Team USA versus Team WNBA. And first and foremost, this All-Star game was competitive from start to finish. The ladies played with heart. They were getting after it. They didn't wait to the last quarter to start playing defense. It was defense played the entire game. And watching this All-Star game was way better experience than watching the men's All-Star game, because we know a lot of times the All-Star game for us, the men's, it was blowouts. So I love the format of Team WNBA, the All-Stars, and then you had Team USA go at it. But in the second half, though, Team WNBA gave Team USA that work, that business. And the Team USA team is about to go play in Paris right now. And it just goes to show you about how when you don't do things the right way, and then you have so much conversation on why you didn't select Angel Reese, why you didn't select Caitlin Clark. It's a process to get on Team USA. And then you go out there and get your ass kicked by the same players that you left off. It's embarrassing, because at the end of the day, Caitlin Clark should be going to Paris. Angel Reese should be going to Paris. Orike Obugawale should be going to Paris. All three of those players are better than some of the players that they have on their roster. And if I am the USA coach right now, all those conversations you guys were having, if I'm the players right now going, that's about to get on this flight and go to Paris, I'm looking at myself in the mirror, because a lot of those players, the pettiness and the things that they were saying about Caitlin Clark, and for y'all to come out and show that, well, she probably needs to be on here with us. She probably need to be on this plane going, this charter plane going to Paris, and she's part of the reason why we got charter planes. And it is what it is, but at the same time, it's a way to do things. And that's why the politics in sports are so crazy, because the fans just want to see the best players. And Caitlin Clark is one of the best players, and she should be going to Paris. And so should Angel Reese, because of their marketing ability, because the draw that they bring, and the overall popularity that they have brought to the WNBA and continue to bring and help the league grow. And Orike is a Donovan Mitchell player in the WNBA. That's who she plays like. She's a Donovan Mitchell disciple. She has the handles. She has the creation ability. She's the best one-on-one player in the league. She is not going to Paris. So you got three players. We got the MVP who broke the single game record, scoring record in the All-Star game, Orike, not going to Paris. We got Angel Reese, who had a double-double in limited minutes at the All-Star game. She's not going to Paris. We got Caitlin Clark, who broke the rookie record for assists in the game. She's not going to Paris at all. So those are three players that deserve to go to Paris and deserve to represent this country and be on an Olympic team. And for whatever reason, you got legacy picks, you got people that went through the process, but it's some players on that Team USA roster right now that aren't better than those three players, and they got cooked. And it just goes to show you that put the best players on the team so the fans in the game can grow. And they didn't do that. And like I said, it is what it is. But when you talk a lot of shit and you don't back it up, and those ladies in that locker room for Team USA didn't back it up. And I've already made a stream about talking about how it's some players that Caitlin Clark, I feel like, is better than, and that's on that team. And we look at Diana Taurasi, this is going to be her 6th Olympic. We look at Chelsea Gray. Chelsea Gray's coming off of a ACL or Achilles. I think it's Achilles injury. She's coming off Achilles injury. She's going to play in Paris. Jackie Young. I love Jackie Young. This is her first year going to play in the Olympics. And then you got Kelsey Plum as well. Asia Wilson, of course, we know she's going to be the unanimous MVP. But damn, did they need 3 players to go and represent the country? Of course, Asia, but is Kelsey Plum and Jackie Young better than Enrique and better than Caitlin Clark? I don't think so. Like let's keep it a bean. Are they better than Enrique and Caitlin Clark? I do not know. So it's some players on there that is just like that's very questionable when we talking about should be representing the country, and then you go out and you lay an egg and you get cooked in the second half, and they made it close towards the fourth quarter, but it's just like let's be for real. And then Angel Reese, 12 points, 11 rebounds, I think. Like the second rookie with that record, with that stat line. It's just like her fan base and Caitlin Clark fan base, they can tie hands and they can unite tonight because both those rookies stole the show. And Caitlin Clark's shot wasn't there. And that's kind of been like the common thing with her all year a little bit. Like her playmaking, her assists is there, but her shot has been a little inconsistent. But once she starts getting her scoring consistent on a nightly basis, she's averaging 17 points per game. She's just going to up it to that 25, 26, 27 range that she was in college because she's that talented and she's that gifted. And a lot of times she's overly kind of processing the game and overly thinking the game for it's like, should I pass to this player? Should I make this right read? Because she's constantly trying to make her teammates better. But I want her to eventually get back to being that I know how gifted I am as a playmaker. And I know that my passing is my best attribute. But I want her to get back to being that scorer killer at times and not just always thinking pass. She kind of has that LeBron in her. Like always making the right play, always going to find the right man, always going to do what's best for the team. But at some point, like, you got to score as well. We want you to showcase your scoring ability a little bit more. And I think she's going to do that. But it was just nice to see her facilitating the passing. And unfortunately, she didn't break the all-time single game assist record at the All-Star game. But this is only year 1 for her, and she's an All-Star starter. So I'm pretty sure she's going to have multiple All-Star games, and she's going to break that All-Star single game assist record, which is held by Sue Bird, and Sue Bird had 11, and then I think Caitlin Clark had 10. But it was phenomenal watching the game from start to finish. Once again, all those girls, they really got after. They were competing. They were going hard. But I love what Caitlin Clark was doing. I love Angel Reese, and I love what Enrique came out and put on a show and scored the bulk of her points in the second half. I think she had it was 35 or 36. Hooper, killer, step backs, the one-legged shots, just the overall aggression, and it's just like she's a killer. She is the truth. She's official. You know, she was a bucket at Notre Dame. Everybody knows what she's about. And it's a shame that she's not going to the Paris as well. It's just crazy when you watching this game and you watching these players. It's just like for marketability factor, maybe not game factor, Angel Reese should be there. For game factor and marketability factor, Caitlin Clark should be there. For overall game factor, just game, when we talk about getting buckets, scoring in a variety of ways, who deserves to be there, not on some politics and political bullshit, Rika should be there. And then if you're the U.S. team, you talk a lot of shit. Your coach talks a lot of shit. The players in the locker room, they have like this like mentality that, they try to talk down on, Caitlin Clark and try to undermine her impact. But y'all lost. It's just like – you lost. And it's just like, it's a little embarrassing because if you're supposed to be Team USA and you're supposed to be the best players in the WNBA, which just goes to show you that they aren't. Like you don't get cooked the way they got cooked. And then you go out and of course you're going to beat the teams. You're going to beat the teams that you're going to play in the Olympics because unfortunately in the women's side of basketball, the world is nowhere close to well, and the guys are nowhere close either, but they're really nowhere close to the level of competition that the USA talent has. So they're going to win. They're going to dominate. They're going to do all the things that they're going to do, which it's like, okay, if we already know we're going to blow out teams, then why not have Angel Reese on the roster? Why not have Caitlin Clark on the roster, even if you don't necessarily want to play them? But to me, though, watching that game, they got a lot of players that don't necessarily fit each other and don't necessarily they have similar positions. So it's just kind of like if you watch Deanna Taurasi, you watch Kalia Copper, you watch Kelsey Plum, Jackie Young, it seems like to me they missing a point guard. And then you got a bunch of shooters. Deanna Taurasi, at this stage of her career, she's just a shooter coming off screens, coming off pin downs. You want to hit her, and she can let it fly. Then you got Jackie Young. Jackie Young does some things off the ball. And then you got Kelsey Plum, who's another shooter. So you're missing a true point guard, Caitlin Clark. You're missing a true scorer in Enrique, who can create off the dribble for herself and get her own bucket at will. And then if you look at their size, you got Asia Wilson, who's kind of like their biggest player. And then you got Brittany Griner as well. Brittany Griner, as great as she is, she's probably in a decline of her career. She's still great enough to get the average 18 and 6 and 7 and stuff like that. But offensively, she's just, really a height factor. So we're talking about your only true post player is Asia Wilson. So you could use a grinder in Angel Reese to come in and be that spark bunny, that energizer, that coming off the bench, grabbing offensive loose rebounds and defensive rebounds and things of that nature. It seems like you can use that. So it's just like you're missing those three players, and then you have a team that don't even necessarily really fit each other. And Breanna Stewart is great as well, but we know Breanna Stewart is just like she grabs rebounds, she grabs boards and things like that. But sometimes she plays we don't know if she's going to play more so inside. We don't know if she's going to play outside. She's a tweener at times. So you look at that roster, it's just like that roster got cooked by the WNBA All-Stars, and that roster it doesn't seem like they really have a cohesive unit on that roster. It just seems like a bunch of players that were handpicked by the USA team because they went through the USA protocol of going to practice and going to the training camps and things of that nature. And that's the team they're going with. But from an overall makeup, that team does not really make sense. And based on what we saw in the All-Star game, Enrique Bugawale should be on that roster. Angel Reese should be on that roster. And Caitlin Clark should be on that roster. And if you had eyes and if you watched the game and you saw the things that those three players did, it's just like, and you look at the Team USA team, it's just like, damn, whoever's making those decisions probably needs to get canned, fired, cooked, thrown away, dumped in the trash, whatever you want to call it, because at the end of the day, the decision-making going on over there is not making sense. And also some of the decision-making going on in the WNBA when it comes to some of these things really isn't making sense as well, especially when you keep out your most famous player, the player that had the most All-Star votes from either team, Team USA and the WNBA, was Caitlin Clark, and she's not going to represent your country because of the pettiness, because of she didn't go through the protocol, because you guys don't think that she's one of the best 12 players in the world when we talk about women's basketball. That's what it comes down to. When in fact, she's better than some people that's probably going to start, and she's better than a couple players on that roster. And from a point guard standpoint, they don't even have a true legitimate point guard on Team USA's roster. It's that simple. So I appreciate y'all for hopping on the stream. I know it's a little late. Once again, it's your boy, Ahmad K. Smith. Go follow me on all the platforms, AKISS NBA, or type in Ahmad K. Smith. I appreciate you guys. Please sub. Also, if you have a niece, if you have a nephew, a son, a daughter, a grandchild, a baby cousin, if you know some kids, like I have a book called Becoming Basketball. It's on Amazon.com. It's a children's book. It's a poetry book from ages all the way from 3 to 10 years old. I think you guys will enjoy that. I really appreciate that. If you guys go check that out and go get it. And once again, man, we keep it real over here. I'm gonna be doing these streams daily. Like I'm telling the truth. We talking WNBA. We talking the NBA. We talking everything hoops. Hoop is hoop. Basketball is basketball. To me, I have no biases. I'm not a person that analyzes the game and just views the game off of the emotional factor of this is my favorite player or this is my favorite team or having agendas because of what everybody wants to say. I view the game with my own eyes and my own knowledge and based on my playing experience, based on my professional experience working from the Brooklyn Nets to Georgia Tech, working for the NBA, serving as Slam's first overall talent, as well as, once again, a coaching lens. I used to coach youth basketball as well, but most importantly, my eyes. Eyes never lie. Does the stats and the eyes match up? That's how I view things. I'm not just basing things on stats or analytics. I just don't base everything on eye tests. I try to do a combination of the two because I think that's the best way you can really view basketball. And a lot of times, the people that are talking about the game may not even know what they're watching. And that's why we got things and situations going on right now in Team USA for the women's team where they got people on the roster that don't even fit each other. And you got three players, one that just dropped 35 in the All-Star game, another one that just came off and grabbed and did a double-double in less than 22 minutes, and a true point guard that can facilitate and that can play make for others and had 10 assists. So it's just like, and it's so crazy. And I think about it when I was watching this game and just watching like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. And I know their fan bases are both crazy about these players. I know their fan base are kind of always bump heads. But tonight, they can unite because both of their you guys' favorites, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, they showed out and they proved something that, and Angel Reese said it in her interview after the game. She was like, I want to come out and just really hustle and really show that, like, I want to be on Team USA someday. And then somebody asked her, like, oh, well, it seems like, they kind of needed you guys and stuff like that. Or are you a little upset because you guys went to work on them? And she was like, no, it's just like, we just trying to get them ready and get them going. It's just like, I love her confidence. And if I'm a GM and I'm looking at like Angel Reese and I'm looking at like Caitlin Clark, it's not one player other than Asia Wilson in this league that I wouldn't trade for probably Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. I'm gonna say that again. It's not one player in this league right now that I wouldn't trade other than Angel Wilson and probably Breanna Stewart and Sabrina depends, but probably Breanna Stewart. Okay, I'll put it like this. Breanna Stewart, Asia Wilson, and Sabrina Esco. Those are the only three players I probably wouldn't trade. I wouldn't trade, not going to say probably, especially Asia Wilson. Of course, untouchable. Asia Wilson, Breanna Stewart, and Sabrina are the three players that I wouldn't trade Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark for. Everybody else, if I was a GM and I had an opportunity to get Angel Reese, I had an opportunity to get Caitlin Clark, I am trading them because they are that impactful on and off the court, and their potential is there, and they're only going to grow within their game. It was plays that when you watch Angel Reese, especially when she's around the rim and she's hitting her layups, but what I like about Angel Reese, and she showed it in the All-Star game, is that she runs the floor for a big man or big woman very, very well. And she has great hands. Like it was one play where Jaquil Jones threw the ball and she caught it with one hand and laid it up like a wide receiver. Like she has really great hands and she really understands positioning for her rebounding offensively really, really well and also position herself defensively. And it was times where you watching the game where they had three bodies on her to stop her from getting a rebound. It's kind of like when Shaquille O'Neal was in his prime, and it was like as soon as he got the ball, they sucked in the entire defense and had three people in the paint trying to stop him from scoring and dunking the basketball. But it was still, still a dunk, and he was still unstoppable because he was the most dynamic center of the league. And I'm not saying like Caitlin, I'm not saying that Angel Reese is like that but I'm just talking about like her defense of rebounding. It's a lot of times they're throwing 2 or 3 bodies at her at a time just for her to not get a rebound. And once again, her hands are very great. And if she can continue to work on her finishing around the rim, this is a player that can potentially be a 20 to 22 point scorer in this league. And we're talking about 20 to 22 and 12. Like, that is a phenomenal career, potentially, of what she can be. Right now, if she doesn't even get better, she's already like a Dennis Rodman type of player for us, like rebounding. Like she can average a low double-double, 12 and 10 for the rest of 11 for the rest of her career. And that's probably going to be a Hall of Fame career. And that's right now if she doesn't get better. But I think she's going to get better, and especially her offensive game and some things she can work on. And a lot of times it's just right now it's just finishing with both hands around the rim and getting that to a higher position. You can't be a big man, shooting under 40%, making layups and things of that nature. But I think she's gonna improve on that, even though she's undersized. But once again, her impact, her energy, her hustle, I think she's going to really increase her production over the course of her career, and it's going to get scary, which is why, like, if I was a GM, I would trade for her immediately. Like, if I had the opportunity, you want this player? Okay, cool. Oh, I know Jewel Lowe is a star right now, but like, okay, in a couple of years, I want to ship her out. Let me get Angel Reese. And the same thing with Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is so damn cold. She's averaging 17, 5, and 8 right now. She is a bona fide star. And we're not. I think the rookie of the year race is kind of over with. It's over with, to be honest. I love Angel Reese, but it's over with. Caitlin Clark, we need to start talking about her in the MVP race, because right now it's just like we know Wilson's gonna win, but like Caitlin Clark is already an MVP candidate right now. She's already the best point guard in the league without question. Passing, vision, feel for the game. We haven't seen a player that's ever been in the WNBA that has came in with her sole responsibility to play make for others and also score as well. That's why she leads the league in total scoring contributions for a player. She's phenomenal. She is special. She is different. And the crazy thing about Caitlin Clark right now is just like I said early in the stream, that her scoring isn't even there yet on a consistent basis. Like Caitlin Clark scoring, like she's missing a lot of threes. When you watch her and then the Fever, sometimes she's going like 2 for 10 for threes. Like when that efficiency increases, it's going to be really scary. And also, she hasn't even tapped into another part of her game where I hope she develops and taps into, because she hasn't even unlocked that second level on the basketball court. Right now, it's just really layups, the playmaking and the passing, and then it's the 3-point shots. What if she starts getting into that second level in the basketball court? Those easier shots. What if she starts developing like a floater? Like, what if she starts learning how to also play off ball, kind of like Diana Taurasi? Like, she has so much room for improvement on her game and a level that she can increase, that it's going to be scary in the upcoming years as well. And right now, she's already an MVP candidate. FanDuel came out with a poll, and it said that basically right now, based on like the odds, like she would finish third in MVP voting as a rookie. were special. Last time we saw a rookie win Rookie of the Year and the MVP at the same time was Candace Parker. And of course, Caitlin Clark is not going to win the MVP, but just showing that she's probably going to finish top 3 and she's in that upper echelon of the league when people have been constantly talking about what she's not going to do when she's going to come into the league. How the league is too physical. How she's gonna do well, but she's not gonna dominate. Well, last time I checked, 17, 5, and 8 right now, when most of the players are averaging, we got Asia Wilson's only one that's averaging more than 24 points per game. And points is not the end all be all to everything when we talk about a player's game. Of course, you got defense, you got rebounding, you got passing, all those things. But like when we talk about responsibility, other than Asia Wilson, who has the most responsibility in the league right now? It's that rookie in Caitlin Clark. She got the most responsibility in the league, other than Asia Wilson. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be special. And once again, it's the last thing I'm going to say, and I'm about to get off on this, is Team USA women's basketball made a mistake. Enrique should be at the All-Star game. I'm sorry, Enrique should be going to Paris. She just dominated in the All-Star game. Angel Reese should be going to Paris, and Caitlin Clark should be going to Paris. God bless y'all. Thank y'all for joining on the screen. We got 50 people in here. I appreciate y'all. Also, make sure y'all go subscribe. It's your boy, Ahmad K. Smith. You can follow me everywhere. Peace, man.